All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about something that might be quietly killing your business. This idea that a silent customer is a happy customer. We've all heard it, right? Well, today we're going to decode what that silence really means.
So let me just throw this question out there, and it might sound a little outrageous. Are your silent customers actually proof that you're doing a great job? Or are they a ticking time bomb, just quietly packing their bags and getting ready to walk out the door for good? The answer is not as simple as you think, and that's what we're going to unpack right now.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why that quiet is so deceptive. Then we'll get into unmasking what's really going on under the surface. After that, we'll look at some tools to dig up the truth, how to build a culture where people actually want to talk to you, and finally, how to turn all that silence into a massive engine for growth.
Okay, first things first, let's just tackle this dangerous myth head on. You know that old saying, no news is good news? Well, I'm here to tell you, when it comes to your customers, that could not be more wrong. In fact, no news is often very, very bad news.
And this really lays it all out. On one hand, you have the myth, the story we like to tell ourselves. Hey, nobody's complaining, so everything must be great. But the reality? It's kind of scary. That silence usually isn't satisfaction. It's apathy. And apathy, well, that's what leads directly to churn, lost revenue, and a whole lot of risk you never saw coming.
You know, there's this great little story about a software founder. He was so proud, and he'd tell everyone, our users never complain. He honestly thought he'd cracked the code, that his product was just that good. Well, you can probably guess what happened next. When it came time for renewals, poof, those happy, silent customers were gone. He learned a really tough lesson that day. Their silence wasn't a stamp of approval. It was apathy. They just didn't care enough anymore to even tell him what was wrong before they left. So if we can't trust silence, what can we trust? In this next part, we're going to become detectives. We're going to learn how to read the subtle signs, the little breadcrumbs that customers leave behind long before they actually disappear.
And here's the thing you really need to get about all this. It's almost never that your customers secretly hate you or your product. The real problem is actually something way more dangerous than that. And there it is. That's the real killer. They've just checked out. They've decided that giving you feedback is a waste of their time, that nothing will change. That indifference, that's the emotion you should be truly afraid of, not anger.
Okay, so what are these breadcrumbs I'm talking about? Well, here are some really concrete things you can start watching for. Are their emails getting shorter? Maybe a little colder? Are they logging in less often? Taking forever to get back to you? Have the referrals dried up? Did they stop opening your emails? Every single one of these is a quiet little red flag telling you to pay attention right now.
All right, so we get it. Silence is bad. We know the warning signs. Now for the good part. What do we do about it? It's time to stop waiting and start building a toolkit to unearth what our customers are really thinking. This brings us to a really powerful idea called proactive probing. Look, it's not about sitting around waiting for feedback to fall into your lap. It's about actively going out there and finding it. And the key here is that it's a mix. It's part tech, part data, but it's also about genuine human connection. So, what's in this toolkit? Well, you've got your tech side, things like behavioral tracking to see what people are doing, and AI sentiment analysis to guess how they're feeling about it. But then you have the human side, simple little feedback prompts, personal check-ins from a real person, and, this one's huge, exit autopsies. You have to find out exactly why someone left so you can stop the next person from leaving for the same reason. Now look, having the right tools is great, but it's only half the story. You have to build on that. And that leads us to creating an environment where customers actually feel comfortable giving you the truth, a real culture of honesty. And I just love this idea. Your goal isn't to be so perfect that nobody ever has a complaint. That's a fantasy. The real win is creating a relationship where your customers feel so safe and respected that they're willing to tell you the hard stuff. That's when you know you've really succeeded. So how do you actually build these bridges? Here's a simple 5-step plan. 1. Make it ridiculously easy to give feedback. No more 10-page surveys. 2. Acknowledge it right away. A quick, hey, we got this, thanks, works wonders. 3. You have to actually show them you're listening by making changes. 4. Train your whole team to be empathetic. And 5, and this might be the most important, normalize complaints. Make it clear that you see criticism as a gift, not an attack. Okay, so we've covered the why and the how. Now let's talk about the payoff. Because when you really learn to listen to what's not being said, it isn't just about preventing people from leaving. It's about unlocking some serious growth. Let's look at a real-world example. So picture this fintech startup. They're looking at their numbers and they see this really scary trend. A ton of users are signing up and then just doing nothing. Their accounts are totally dormant. But their support inbox? Crickets. Not a single complaint. A classic case of deceptive silence. So instead of just assuming everything was fine, they dug in. They looked at the data and they found the exact spot in their onboarding where people were getting confused and just silently giving up. They fixed that one little friction point, and bam, a 38% increase in new users actually using the product. And that's not even the best part. By fixing that one silent problem, they didn't just get more new users started, they kept them around longer. They saw a 24% jump in their overall retention. All of that growth was just sitting there, hiding in plain sight, completely masked by silence. So I want to leave you with a really simple challenge, something you can literally do this week. Call it a silence audit. It's just 3 steps. First, find 5 customers who've been quiet for 3 months or more. Second, just take a guess. Why do you think they're silent? And third, reach out with one simple, honest, human question. Hey, just checking in. How's everything working for you lately? I promise you, the answers you get back will be pure gold. And that really brings us to the core takeaway here. Never, ever assume that no news is good news. Because the most dangerous customer isn't the one who's yelling at you. It's the one you never hear from again. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What important messages are hiding in your customers' silence right now?